right, good morning, everyone. We're going to start with number 248, We Believe in Christmas. We'll get everyone here. Yeah, we're starting. Oh, we believe in Christmas and keep Christmas Day, and we will honor Christmas, the ancient worldwide way. The Christmas of all peoples, the sun's returning cheer, rung out from towers and steeples at midnight of the year. And we will join at Christmas the song of hope and joy that finds its theme at Christmas in every girl and boy. The flame of life will twinkle as fades the sunset sky, until the child shall kindle new light and raise it high. Shine out, ye lights of Christmas, from earth and tree and star, and let the warmth of Christmas shed kindness near and far. And clang ye bells of Christmas upon the frosty air, and may the joy of Christmas spread gladness everywhere. Perfect timing.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane, where our mission is to join together to create a nourishing, liberal religious home and to champion justice, diversity, and environmental stewardship in our wider world. Now, if you remember, we've changed. We used to say, or in short, to create community, find meaning, and work for justice. We're changing that to live justly. That last one, to live justly. So, create community, find meaning, and live justly. This was something that Lynn, I don't think she's here anymore, suggested, and I thought it was a good idea. So, we'll practice that. Or in short, to create community, find meaning, and live justly. And some folks probably like it the other way just as well, but thought it's a nice way to put the onus on ourselves rather than on others. Anyway, however you say it, glad to have you this morning. Welcome is always all that you bring with you, all of your uniqueness, your unique beliefs, your background, your lifestyle, your experiences, your differences, all that helps make you who you are is welcome here this morning, and this includes those of you who are, of course, in the room with us, whether you attend regularly or might be joining us for the first time, you're equally as welcome and appreciated. So glad to have all of you, and of course, we're also grateful to have the many of you who are streaming with us this morning as well. So thank you so much for being here, whether you're in person or online this morning. I do have one reminder. We're having a cookie sale, a holiday cookie sale, in the area in the back of the sanctuary. And there are some cookies laid out there, and all you have to do is take a cookie and leave a donation, or put some cookies in a package and leave a donation, whatever you want. It's on the honor system. I think there's a cookie jar back there that's empty that you can put your donation in. I think you can also scan the QR code and make a donation online if you didn't bring cash, because we want anyone who wants a cookie or so to have a cookie or so. But we appreciate your generosity, and thanks to everyone who brought cookies, as well as I think some of them were hand decorated by the kiddos, right? They will be. Oh, okay. That's going to happen before between social hours. So when they leave after the tree trimming exercise, they will decorate cookies. Okay. You guys, you got to be fast, okay? So you can get as many cookies done as possible. This is going to be like a Christmas carol, you know, where you have to work really hard as children, child labor. Just teasing. Just have fun. Be creative. Just teasing. Okay, let's take a few minutes to greet one another before we get too settled down this morning. Feel free to walk around and say hi to some old friends and make some new friends. All right, more opportunity to visit following our service, but let's move forward now by lighting our chalice, the symbol of our faith, the symbol of our unity and our solidarity, of our openness and our inclusion, of our community and our individual uniqueness. May this small flame be our offering of warmth to those who are cold and alone, and a light to those in darkness. May it be a flame that ignites justice in our world and a beacon of hope to those in need, and may it reflect at least a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and cast a healthy shadow of doubt wherever it's been found.
For the opening words, thoughts of Joseph Campbell. A ritual is the enactment of a myth, and by participating in the ritual, you are participating in the myth. And since myth is a projection of the depth wisdom of the psyche, by participating in a ritual in the myth, you are being put in accord with that wisdom, which is inherent within you. Your consciousness is being reminded of the wisdom of your own life.
Please stand, join me for number 244, It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. do verses 1, 2, and 4. It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their harps of gold. Peace on the earth through all goodwill, from heaven the news we bring. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. Still through the cloven skies they come, with peaceful wings unfurled, and still their heavenly music floats o'er all the weary world. Its sad and lowly plains they bend on hovering knee, and over its babel sounds the blessed angels sing. For lo, the days are hastening, by prophet once foretold, when with the ever-circling years comes round the age of gold, when peace shall over all the earth its ancient splendors fling, and the whole world bring back the song which now the angels sing.
Aren't we fortunate to have such a musical ensemble here this morning? Thank you guys so much. So today is our official Christmas service, because Christmas is going to be, our Christmas Eve will be falling on a Sunday this year. So rather than having services that morning, where people will probably not come because they'll be with family and friends and maybe out of town, we are going to have our annual, the service that we hold annually on Christmas Eve. It's actually called our Cosmic Advent service, because it celebrates the miracle of all life and all lives. And we do that with singing some traditional carols like we're doing today, right out of our hymnal, as well as readings from religious and philosophical traditions throughout time and around the world, and through a sort of candlelight Advent that allows us to reflect upon the meaning of life and being alive and the importance of every person. And I think that's indicative in many ways of Christmas itself. One of the things about Christmas is that as we approach, we start thinking about what do we want. And the most common gift that most people want the world over is peace on earth and goodwill towards others. And as we move into our candles of care, it's difficult to have this service and not mention how far off we are right now from that goal. From that dream, from that wish. We've been lighting a candle of care for well over a year now for the people of Ukraine and that region of the world. And now we're starting with the candle for the people of Israel and the Palestinian people who are facing terrible, unnecessary disregard for life. And we're living in a backward country that doesn't want to help, or some at least don't want to help either of those groups properly. It's very difficult to have a Christmas service and would be irresponsible if I were not to mention our deep feelings of grief for people suffering unrest and war and violence at this time of year. And so we kindle our candles of care with great consciousness of what is happening in our world, and with great care, and still dare to dream that dream and make that wish for peace on earth and goodwill toward all. And I do want to state a specific candle for two of our church members, Tanya and Kurt Workmaster, who, unbelievable as it sounds, are both suffering from some very life-threatening cases of cancer at this time. And we'll know more as the days and weeks go on, but they gave us permission to let you know what's happening in their lives right now. So we will continue to think of them as well, and also for their sons who are, I know, in shock over what's going on with their parents. So I'm sorry to have to lay so much tragedy on us this morning, but we have to do that. That's the world we live in. So let's take a moment of silence on behalf of others that you might be thinking of this morning. And as always, you're welcome to name them aloud at this time if you'd like. Those named aloud and those embraced in our silence, and all those who are suffering in our world at this hour, we hold in our community with compassion.
We're going to do the offering now.
Oh,
yes?
Goodness. I have so much compassion, I'm going to let you off the hook today. Yes, we now gratefully give and receive. I was wondering who screwed up.
I did it this morning.
Look around. Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it this time? Well, we now gratefully give and receive this morning's offering, which helps sustain this community and our mission to the larger world. Thank you for the gentle reminder.
Christmas time's a coming, Christmas time's a coming, Christmas time's a coming, and I know I'm going home. And you hear the bells ringing, ringing, joy to all, and hear them singing. When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas time's a coming, Christmas time's a coming, Christmas time's a coming, and I know I'm going home. Snowflakes are falling, my old home's a calling, tall pines are humming, Christmas time's a coming. And you hear the bells ringing, ringing, joy to all, and hear them singing. When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas time's a coming, Christmas time's a coming, Christmas time's a coming, and I know I'm going home. Candlelights are burning, my old heart's yearning. Now from the homestead, oh, Christmas time is coming. And you hear the bells ringing, ringing. bringing joy to all to hear them singing. When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas times are coming, Christmas times are coming, Christmas times are coming, and I know I'm going home. Holly in the window, home is where the wind blows. Can't walk for running, 'cause Christmas times are coming. Can you hear them bells ringing, bringing joy to all? I hear them singing. When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas times are coming, Christmas times are coming, Christmas times are coming, and I know I'm going home. Christmas times are coming, Christmas times are coming, Christmas times are coming, and I know I'm going home. Christmas times are coming, Christmas times are coming, Christmas times are coming, and I know I'm going home.
Thank you so much. Wow, that was just perfect intro to our time for all ages today. This is, yeah, you can come up. You can come up. Come on, the kids are going to help play an important role today. So instead of me telling a story, you guys are going to help us trim the tree, right? Are you ready for that? You're not ready? Trick or treat, yes. No, trim the tree. Trim the tree. That's yeah. So what this means, so I'm going to be speaking in a little bit. I mean, I'm already speaking. I'm going to be giving a sermon on a Christmas TV show called It's a Wonderful Life. How many of you have seen that? Yeah, quite a few. And that's an interesting story because it's about how one person can do something positive for the entire community, can make a difference. And you guys, I think, handed everybody who came in an ornament today, right? Does everybody have an ornament? Yeah. Everybody? Okay. You three didn't get an ornament? You put them on the tree already. Well, good for you. That's okay. That's okay. Good. That's a good thing to do with them. So if you haven't already put yours on the tree, and we probably have some more, right? Do we have some more for folks that don't have them? Yeah, okay. Would you mind let them have 3 more so they can, yeah, they're right up here on the, there you go. Raise your hands and Jeremiah will know. There you go. So now, normally it would take quite a long time to decorate a tree, right? Unless, you had some of Santa's magic and you could just touch the tree and it becomes decorated. That's not going to happen. But you have your individual magic, and you can all get up right now, take your ornament to the tree, and hang it, and we will have made a beautiful tree as a community in no time flat. So please, go trim the tree. Did you want to go trim it?
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. The bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. two ago. I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bite was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed his lot. He got into a drifted bank, and we all got upsot. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Woo-yee-haw.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, look at that tree. Just like that. It's got so many ornaments on it, it's leaning to the left, which is appropriate in this church. Oh yes, we're going to sing the children out so you guys can go decorate cookies.
Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere you may go.
For the meditation, several quotes about community. Community is not an ideal, it is people. It is you and I. In community, we are called to love people just as they are, with their wounds and their gifts, not as we want them to be. Jean Bonnier. And by Runosuke Satoru, individually we are one drop, together we are an ocean.
To the land of perfect day. beautiful star, the hope of life, guiding the pilgrims through the night, over the mountains till the break of dawn, into the light of perfect day, it will give out a lovely ray. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on, shine on, oh beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us until the glory dawn. Give us a light to guide the way into the land of perfect day. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on, shine on. Beautiful star, the hope of rest, Father redeemed the good and blessed, yonder in glory when the crown is won. For Jesus now that star divine, brighter and brighter he will shine. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on, shine on, oh beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us until the glory dawn. Give us a light to guide the way unto the land of perfect day. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on, shine on.
And now you have to listen to me. I'll do my best. I always say when we have guest musicians that the good news is I get to hear you twice, and the bad news is you have to hear me twice. But the title of my sermon is actually "It's a Wonderful Life." I think it's up there. It's not. It was a misprint in your order of service. I think we had last week's title left in there, but this is the correct topic for today. And I want to begin by mentioning one of my favorite sitcoms, The King of Queens. How many of you have seen The King of Queens? Oh, Evan, Dan has seen it. Oh, okay, people are mostly afraid to admit it, I think, because I think there might be a few. Anyway, The King of Queens stars comedian Kevin James, who's brilliant, and Lee Remini, and as Doug and Carrie Heffernan, a blue-collar working couple living in Queens, New York. It's no longer on. You can catch it in reruns. And they also live with Carrie's very obnoxious father, Arthur Spooner, played by the hysterical and sadly now late comedian Jerry Stiller, the same actor who played George Costanza's nutty father in Seinfeld and was a great vaudevillian comedian for those who've been around long enough to remember Jerry Stiller. And one of the funniest and most memorable episodes for me is the one in which Arthur begins watching famous movies that he'd never heard of before, including It's a Wonderful Life. And noticing this as she walks through the living room, his daughter Carrie says, "Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. Pretty great, huh?" "Actually, I think this one's a swing and a miss." "What are you talking about?" Carrie says in disbelief. "It's one of the greatest movies of all time." "I don't get it," Arthur responds. "With George Bailey, the town couldn't be duller. Without him, there's nightclubs, casinos. It's fabulous. I wish he had never been born." So, goes to prove the point that art is always a matter of interpretation, which may be especially so of what has become director Frank Capra's most beloved and famous film, Following its release in 1946, It's a Wonderful Life was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actor, and Best Director, which would have been Capra's 4th as director and his 4th Best Picture as well. His first picture to do so was It Happened One Night, released in 1934, which was the first film in history to win Academy Awards in 5 major categories: Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Screenplay, and Best Director. Any idea what the other 2 films have been to accomplish this? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and The Silence of the Lambs. So it took a while. Capra's other 2 Best Picture awards were for Mr. Deeds Goes to Town in 1936 and You Can't Take It With You in 1938. And despite its nominations, what has become Capra's most remembered movie didn't win a single Academy Award in 46 and was a box office bomb. It lost over $500,000, which was a tremendous amount in those days, especially considering that it didn't cost much more than $2 million to make. It was so unpopular that its existence quickly disappeared from the minds of most and would have remained in the scrap bin of forgotten films were it not for a mistake, a clerical mistake, made in 1974, 28 years after its disappointing reception by moviegoers. That's when Republic Pictures, its owner at the time, unintentionally failed to renew its copyright, which placed it in the public domain, and thousands of local TV stations around the U.S., eager for new holiday programming, began broadcasting it royalty-free, and they continued doing so for the next 20 years, which is how it became the familiar holiday classic it's now considered, which is sad for me because I am now older than a holiday classic. How did that happen? Today, however, thanks to a 1993 Supreme Court decision, Republic Pictures has regained its rights and has since given NBC an exclusive license to show It's a Wonderful Life twice a year. Mr. Potter won after all. Nowadays, of course, people can rent it online and own it themselves for just a few bucks and watch it without commercials whenever they want, so no big deal. Now, Republic Pictures was able to regain its rights because it had retained the rights to The Greatest Gift. That's the short story that inspired the film. One morning in 1938, toward the latter half of the Great Depression, a man named Philip Van Doren Stern was getting ready for work when he got the idea of a story about a man who on Christmas Eve is prevented from committing suicide by a mysterious stranger. The encounter ultimately restores his faith in himself, in humanity, and renews his zest for life. Stern couldn't sell that story, however, but he liked it well enough to turn it into a pamphlet that he himself printed about 200 copies of and mailed away mostly to his friends as Christmas cards. That was in 1943, 5 years after Stern got the idea. 2 years later, it was printed in Good Housekeeping magazine, upon which RKO Radio Pictures bought the film's rights, production rights, bought the story's filming rights, let's put it that way, for $10,000. Although Frank Capra, who had been making movies since the days of silent film, was the most successful director of the 1930s and had already served during World War I, didn't stop him from joining the military again just 4 days after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, World War II. It then became his job to produce propaganda films to improve morale among the ranks. And he worked directly for the senior officer in charge of the Army, General George C. Marshall, who of course would eventually become President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army and President Harry Truman's Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense. And despite being awarded a Distinguished Service Medal presented to him by Marshall himself, Capra was more than ready to come home and get back to his career. It was my first picture after being in the Army for about 5 years, Capra recollected. I was scared to death. I had not looked through the eyepiece of a camera at an actor in all that length of time. What would my first film about? Well, one thing he did know, he said, it certainly wasn't going to be about war. I had had my belly full of war, and I came out a perfect pacifist. So what would it be about? And this is where Stern's short story comes in. Capra worked for RKO, which again owned the rights. And according to Capra, 3 of its best screenwriters attempted to adapt the story, but he said they all missed the story's main point. They missed, as he put it, the idea I got when I bought this Christmas card. In about 9 paragraphs, there was this story. A man was a failure, was given the opportunity to come back and see the world as it would have been had he not been born. And he finds out no one is a failure. Well, my goodness, this thing hit me like a ton of bricks. So I wrote my own script, and that's the story of It's a Wonderful Life. 9 paragraphs are not much to base an entire feature film on. And Capra added a lot to the original story, but he never veered from its main premise. Instead of George Bailey, the Greatest Gifts protagonist is named George Pratt. And it begins with Pratt standing on a bridge, preparing to jump. I wouldn't do that if I were you, a quiet voice beside him said. George turned resentfully to a little man he had never seen before. He was stout, well past middle age, and his round cheeks were pink in the winter air as though they had just been shaved. Wouldn't do what? George asked sullenly. What you were thinking about doing. How do you know what I was thinking? Oh, we make it our business to know a lot of things, the stranger said easily. Before long, George admitted his true feelings. I'm stuck here in this mud hole of a life, doing the same dull work day after day. Other men are leading exciting lives, but I'm just a small-town bank clerk that even the Army didn't want. I never did anything really useful or interesting, and it looks as if I never will. I might just as well be dead. I might be better off dead. Sometimes I wish I were. In fact, I wish I'd never been born. The little man stood looking at him in the growing darkness. What was that you said? He said softly. I said I wished I'd never been born, George repeated firmly, and I mean it, too. The stranger's pink cheeks glowed with excitement. Why, that's wonderful. You've solved everything. I was afraid you were going to give me some trouble, but now you've got the solution for yourself. You wish you'd never been born. All right, okay, you haven't. With that, the stranger gives George a satchel full of hairbrushes, explaining it'll open a lot of doors that might otherwise get slammed in your face. And soon thereafter, George realized that he must pose as a salesman just to talk to his own friends and family who don't recognize him anymore. His wish had come true. George Pratt had never been born and soon discovered many of the people that he loves were in serious trouble without him, including his wife Mary, who ended up marrying an abusive husband. and that his brother had drowned as a child because George wasn't there to save him, just as it's so in the movie. But one important difference between the movie and the short story is Capra's introduction of an antagonist to the mix. Robber baron Henry F. Potter, played memorably by Lionel Barrymore. Potter is the antithesis of George Bailey, played, as you know, by Jimmy Stewart, who incidentally had also just come back from the war and wondered if he could ever act again. He wondered, after all the horrors of war, if acting really amounted to anything important. The desire to do something meaningful for humanity was a desire of Stewart's that mirrored the character that he played. It was this underlying ethic that prevented him from becoming like Mr. Potter, a selfish individual who cared only for himself, regardless of how doing so impacts the welfare of others and one's own community. In one memorable scene, Potter invites George to his office to entice him into giving in to his own self-interest. "What's your point, Mr. Potter?" George asked. My point is I want to hire you." "Hire me?" "Yes, I want you to manage my affairs, run my properties. George, I'll start you off at $20,000 a year." Now, that was a lot of money back then, as evidenced by George's wide eyes and his open mouth, out of which an expensive cigar Potter had given him promptly drops. $20,000 a year? You wouldn't mind living in the nicest house in town, buying your wife a lot of fine clothes, a couple of business trips to New York a year, maybe once in a while Europe. You wouldn't mind that, would you, George? "Would I?" George says. "You're not talking to somebody else around here, are you? You know, this is me. Remember me, George Bailey?" "Oh, yes, George Bailey, whose ship has just come in," Potter says with a wink, "providing he has enough brains to climb aboard." Holy mackerel. "Well, how about the building and loan?" he asked, referring, of course, to the family business he's been trying to save for the benefit of the entire town. "Confound it, man, are you afraid of success? I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 starting today. Is it a deal or isn't it?" Now, this encounter was only the worst of many similar temptations George faces throughout the movie. At its very start, when he's still an adolescent, he walks into the pharmacy where he works and he says, "I wish I had $1 million. That's the introduction. Same kid that Potter is trying to entice with $20,000 a year. "I wish I had $1 million. He then shows the latest National Geographic magazine to young Mary, who would become his love interest and later in life his spouse. "I've been nominated for membership in the National Geographic Society," he brags. "I'm going to go out exploring someday. You watch." And upon graduating from high school, he also tells Mary, "I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm going to see the world." George's greatest wish is to leave Bedford Falls and to become free and independent and successful. But each time he plans to leave, something gets in his way. His own sense of responsibility to others. His own sense of moral duty. His plans to leave must be delayed after his father's sudden death so that he can stay long enough to help get the family business stable enough. Upon completing this task and finally saying goodbye, Mr. Potter, a board member of his company, announces his plan to take it over. George protests, but he tells the board members, well, you can do whatever you want. I'm leaving, and he heads for the train station. Providing, that is, he has enough brains to climb aboard. Excited as he is to leave, he knows he can't. He discards all those wonderful little travel brochures he'd been collecting since he was a child, and reluctantly turns toward town to settle down, feeling as if he'd finally been defeated. And George personally suffers each time he makes this same decision to put the needs of others before his own wishes. As a child, he loses hearing in one ear after risking his life to save his brother from drowning. His drunken boss beats him up after George saves him from making a deadly pharmaceutical mistake. When there's a run on the bank, he has to cancel his own honeymoon to attend to the needs of his community. George isn't made happy by doing the right thing. But happiness doesn't seem to be his main motivation, is it? Maybe it's his own integrity that drives him. Maybe it's his compassion for others. Maybe it's his sense of duty to his community. Well, Mr. Potter, I know I ought to jump at the chance, but I wonder if I could be possible for you to give me just 24 hours to think it over. Sure. You go home and you talk about it to your wife. I'd like to do that. Yeah, in the meantime, I'll draw up the papers. All right, sir. Okay, George. Okay, Mr. Potter, George says, shaking the old man's hand, after which he looks at his own hand with a demeanor of shame. He wipes it on his coat. All right, I'll now wait a minute here. Wait a minute. I don't need 24 hours. I don't need to talk to anybody. I know right now, and the answer is no. No. Doggone it. You sit around here and you spin your little webs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. In the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you were nothing more than a scurvy little spider. And he walks out the door. But after this latest moral decision, things become even worse, to the point that he's ready to commit suicide. And this may be why the film wasn't so well received by its initial audience, its intended audience. I believe this is so because the suffering it portrays was still too close to home. People were still feeling the worst impacts of the war and the Great Depression, and all the loss of life from both. During the Great Depression, suicide rates increased almost 23% during those first 4 years alone. Portraying this on film may have still been too much then for most people to watch. Fortunately, George doesn't take that final leap, thanks to Clarence, a befuddled angel who is sent to help him. And we all know what happens then. George gets a chance to see what the world would be like had he never existed, which enables him to recognize his own value and to return to his life a grateful and happy man. Here's how it goes in Stern's original short story. He hurried down the hill and broke into a run when he neared the river. George was relieved to see the little stranger standing on the bridge. "I've had enough," he gasped. "Get me out of this. You got me into it." The stranger raised his eyebrows. "I got you into it. I like that. You were granted your wish. You got everything you asked for. You were the freest man on earth. You had no ties. You can go anywhere, do anything. What more could you possibly want? Change me back, George pleaded. Change me back, please, not just for my sake, but for the others, too. You don't know what a mess this town is in. You don't understand. I've got to get back. They need me here. I understand right enough, the stranger said slowly. I just wanted to make sure you did. You had the greatest gift of all conferred upon you, the gift of life, of being a part of this world and of taking part in it. Yet you denied that gift. It being Christmas, and more importantly, because George had learned his lesson, learning how valuable his own life was, the magical stranger granted his second wish, and things returned to normal, and George happily returned to his family and his friends. Capra said that It's a Wonderful Life finally expressed what he'd been trying to say in all of his movies. But I had never heard or seen this plot used, he said, in which a man was allowed to see how his little world would have been had he not been born. This was to me novel, new, and a wonderfully human way of pinning the idea down on the importance of the individual, which has always been the main theme of all my films. Ultimately, then, It's a Wonderful Life is an homage to our most important liberal principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. But it's also about the kind of person we will choose to be. The selfish kind, who only thinks of oneself, or the kind who holds to the humanistic ethic that we each have the moral responsibility to do what we can to look out for the welfare of others. Upon realizing this, George is happy at the end of the film, even though he's returning to exactly the way things were, to the very same problems and stresses and challenges that he was ready to kill himself over. But now he runs back to town shouting Merry Christmas to everyone he sees. Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Merry Christmas, Movie House. Merry Christmas, Emporium. Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and loan. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Merry Christmas, wonderful old drafty house. There are a lot of ways to throw our lives away. Mr. Potter, George's alter ego, whom he would have become if we were looking forward instead of backward in the story. Mr. Potter threw his away even though he became the richest and most successful man in town. He threw it away by giving up his humanity and by disregarding the humanity of others. Each one of us must find the balance between freedom and belonging, between our own happiness and the happiness of others. But it is not as important to know what life would be like without us as to wonder what life will be because of us. The question is not what is the meaning of life, but what is the meaning of my life? What is the meaning of your life? What difference can we make to our friends and to our family and to our community? What must we give up? What must we endure? When we understand the answers to these questions, We gladly take on whatever challenges befall us because we know the purpose of our lives. And that is the true source of our wealth and of our happiness. Merry Christmas, UCS.
Thank you. Please stand. We're going to sing Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly, number 235 in the hymnal. Also, come next week. The choir is performing. We're doing Carol of the Bells and Everywhere Christmas tonight. Be some wonderful music. So please come next Sunday and support. All right.
Khalil Gibran will give us the words of the benediction. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you will see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Some of you say, joy is greater than sorrow, but I say to you, they are inseparable. I'm sorry, let me say that over again. Some of you say, joy is greater than sorrow, and others say, nay, sorrow is greater. But I say to you, they are inseparable. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you at your board, remember that the other is asleep upon your bed. You are suspended like scales between your sorrow and your joy. Shalom, blessed be. Shalom, I'm sorry. I am getting all mixed up. Shalom, blessed be, salam alaikum, and shalom.